Hey there, welcome to an AJ 210 Battle Report. Tyranids versus Chaos Space Marines. Playing 1250 points, and I'm going to try out a new style of Battle Report. I'm going to do the mini wargaming style, so we'll see how that works out. As for my Tyranid army list, I'm running 10 Termagants, 2 squads of 15 Hormagaunts with Toxin Sacks, 10 Gene Stealers with Toxin Sacks, a Swarm Lord with a Guard who has Lash Whips, and 3 Zoanthropes in a pod, a Trigon Prime, and I also have a Hive Tyrant proxying in for a Tervigon with Catalyst, Toxin Sacks, and Adrenal Glands. As for the Chaos Army list, he's running two 7-man squads of Khorne Berserkers with a Champion and a Power Fist, both mounted in Rhinos with Twin Link Bolters, a 7-man Nurgle squad with 2 Plasmas and a Rhino, 2 squads of 3 Obliterators, and a big Grey Knights Death Knight thingy proxying in as a Nurgle Demon Prince with wings with warp time. So here's the table. We're playing on sort of like a jungle theme, so it'll look pretty cool with the nids that I have painted. Be pretty interesting. Here's the roll for how many objectives we do. We're doing 5 objectives. Rolling off. Mine's the blue dice, so I get to place 3. Here's where I put my first one, and that ruins right there. He places his in the woods next to it, right there with that Tau drone. I place the next one right in the middle in that pond he wanted to fight over. He puts his next one straight across from it in the other ruins, and I put the last one in the woods right next to those ruins. So the objectives are pretty close to each other, so it'll make it pretty interesting. Here's the deployment. We're doing Spearhead, rolling off to see who goes first. I got a 5, he got a 2, he already picked up his dice before. So I decided to go first, so here's what I do for deployment. So there you can see my Termagants setting up in the front for the screen with the Hormagaunts on either side of the Swarm Lord and his guard. I have my Tervigon in the back there and the Gene Stealers sitting in those ruins for cover, just in case. And here's what's in reserve, my Trigon and my Zoanthropes. Here's their deployment. The Nurgle squad is right there on the objective. There's the 2 Obliterator squads, the 2 Rhinos with the Khorne Berserkers, and his big old Demon Prince in the back. Now he's going to try and steal the initiative. Will he do it? No, close. But he got a 5. So here's Tyranids turn 1, movement phase. So I'm just moving up these guys, using them as a screen for now because I'm assuming I'm going to take quite a bit of heavy fire. I moved them a little bit too far, so I got to shuffle them back there. Next, the squad of Hormagaunts on that side. That Termagant there is proxying in as a Hormagaunt because I was 1 shy. They're basically going to try and flank around the other side. I'm going to split my forces a little bit to try and put pressure on that objective. My Swarm Lord and my Guard are moving up the middle, staying in the center of the pack. The other Hormagaunts are going to try and move into cover there so they can pull a cover save, but I only roll a 3, so they're only going to make it just in front of that cover, that little pond thing. So I just shuffle everybody to the front, keeping everybody pretty close together since I don't have to worry too much about blasts. The Gene Stealers move out of cover with a 6, so they get to move pretty far, so they're going to move up with the Hormagaunts to make a charge on those Khorne Berserkers, hopefully get the charge before they can charge me, because everybody knows Khorne Berserkers on the charge are really nasty. This is my roll for my Tervigon spawning, pretty low, but I didn't roll doubles, and you'll see later in the video that I don't have enough models to play, so we just decided for simplicity's sake to just say that I rolled doubles and call it good. So those models are hanging out in the ruins, and I plan on leaving those guys behind to hold that objective where then the Tervigon decides to move up. That was my movement for these guys, so I just shuffle them around a little bit so they're more in the center of the cover. See what happens there. Going into Tyranid shooting, shouldn't be too much here. I just decided to put Catalyst over here, so I need to roll my Psychic test, and I make it with an 8. So my Gene Stealers have Feel No Pain, marked with that red dice. Next I decide to do, what did I do on these guys? Oh, running, sorry. I run these guys into the pond so they'll get a little bit closer to that center objective and hopefully get a cover save as well for being in the water. Running these guys here, the Gene Stealers, so I just shuffle them up into cover in case they decide to get shot at. So they'll be able to pull a cover save, so maybe, sort of, depending on, who knows. Next I run the Hormagaunts, and then I remember that I get 3 dice, so I roll another 2, and I end up getting a 5. So that was a lot better than what my first roll was. And they just charge right on forward. Coming through the cover, hopefully to be able to put pressure on those Khorne Berserkers. See what happens. Next, the other squad of Hormagaunts is going to run. They get a 4, so that's not too bad. Would have liked them to go a little faster, but 4 is good enough. Better than a 1 or a 2. decided to run this guy, and I really only needed a 1 because I just shuffle him forward a little bit. That's it, because as it says assault phase, I don't have anything to assault. So we're going to move right on to Chaos turn 1 movement phase. So he's rolling slow and purposeful for that top squad, gets a 6, so that's good. Moving at full speed, and his other squad gets a 2. So they're slow. And he just shuffles backwards a little bit to stay away from the incoming swarm, so we can hopefully pick off some of my guys before they get to him. He also moves his Demon Prince back 6 inches, as well as his 2 rhinos here. Does a little bit of maneuvering to try and get away from the greenish gray tide charging at him. So now we're going into the shooting phase. This is where he's going to do his damage. So he's shooting las cannons at my Swarm Lord. Hopefully he'll be able to he's wanting to pick him off before he can do his damage, because Swarm Lord's obviously really nasty. Hits 2 of them and wounds 2 of them, so I get 2 cover saves, and I make both of them. So he's good from that one. And the next one here is shooting, and it's 2, same thing, las cannons, 2 wounds, so I get 2 cover saves, and I make 1 of them, so he's down to 4 wounds. For anybody wondering why he gets a cover save, because he's with that thing, or with the guard, and he gets to pull a cover save because he's troop 50%. It's in the wording of the codex, or the rulebook, pretty weird, but these are his plasma gun shooting, and he ends up getting 1 more wound through after the cover save. So he knocks my Swarm Lord down to 3 wounds left, which isn't too bad. Here's the end of part 1. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Part 2 will be in the comments section. So rate, comment, subscribe, and when the Emperor gives you lemons, praise the Dark Gods.